Very welcome back to Ireland AM. Now, it seems like everyone is watching the Netflix documentary Beckham, the story of how one talented and particularly handsome Cockney footballer married a Spice Girl, wore a sarong and changed the worlds of football, fashion and pop culture forever.
Well, with us now to talk about his legacy are menswear creator Damien Broderick and Conor Allister, co-owner of the Grafton Barber. Good to see you both, lads.
Good morning.
And I kind of, like, you are a football fan.
Yeah, massively.
And of an age where Beckham was one of your heroes.
Yeah, look, when I grew up watching football in the 90s, I mean, it was completely spoiled. Do you know what I mean? United were winning everything. And yeah, Beckham was everybody's. You're a young boy, and especially a United fan growing up in the 90s, Beckham was everything.
Yeah.
But when you look at him, look at what he did, though. I mean, football is a very masculine sport, but he kind of blurred lines a bit because we talked about the sarong there, that the hairstyles. He segued into this massive style icon. Like, apart from the football, like, did that kind of lead you and people of your age to do the same thing and experiment a bit more?
I think it definitely made it okay for men to be themselves. I think there's a scene in the documentary where it's well before, I think he's only a kid, and he has Beck's drawn in pen on the back of a pair of high-tech boots. This is before the Adidas days, before he was the icon. So you could see even then he had this idea of being an individual and wanting to be himself, and I think he probably allowed young men to experiment more and be themselves, seeing someone like him being able to do it on a global stage.
Yeah.
Okay. No, like, I've seen footage of him as a child and his football skills, and you think, like, they could clearly see this guy is going to be a superstar. But then he became a superstar. Because of where you are, because of the business that you're in. Yeah. Beckham would show up on Match of the Day with a brand new haircut. Yeah. How quickly would that arrive into your salons?
Honest to God, man, it was just, he changed the face of men's hairdressing when he started getting the colour. You see in the documentary, he's got like 4 different hairstyles within the period of a year. Then he went famously and shaved it off, and Ferguson asked him to take off the cap, and then he revealed it at that match. And then just from that day on, kids were getting sent home from school saying you can't have that shaved head. So he completely changed how hair was in the male industry, you know, in the men's.
But the thing was, when he shaved his head, and I remember he then played a World Cup qualifying game for England against Greece at Old Trafford and scored the goal that put them into the World Cup tournament. I know he's a brand ambassador and brand specialist, but he lost a big gig by shaving his head. Yeah. I think it was somebody like Brill Cream.
Yeah, I think it was Brill Cream dropped him, didn't they?
Dropped him.
See, not everyone get away with a head like that. I mean, no, but like, that's one of his many hairstyle incarnations. I mean, like the mohawk thing, the faux hawk, whatever.
Hucknall Finn.
I mean, like, that was absolutely mad. That to do such a look at that. I mean, no good came of that. Did people actually go in on purpose and ask for that look?
Yes,
big time.
I remember.
Please tell me you didn't, did you?
No, but I remember being in school. Everybody tried to replicate it, and then
maybe not that one.
No,
not that one.
That's the cultural appropriation now. He'd get in trouble for doing that these days.
And he actually went and met Nelson Mandela with that haircut. So,
oh God.
With his cornrows, that's right.
Yeah. Did you wear a sarong at any stage? At any
you did,
yeah. I'm talking about just
did I?
Maybe my next Instagram video I'll pull out a sarong.
But I'm looking at you now. I mean, I'm seeing your tattoos everywhere. I mean, but back 20, 30 years ago, they weren't as prevalent at all. They were frowned upon. I mean, visible ones particularly. I mean, you've got your hands there. Would that have influenced you as well?
I don't think him being tattooed influenced me, but it definitely allowed me to be more heavily tattooed and operate in society with no sort of fears. I never struggled getting a job or anything like that. And that's probably because he broke down those boundaries. Yeah. Because retail stores had pictures of him up. So they couldn't refuse you a job if the model in the background is covered in tattoos. So there's little things like that. And then when people see it on the television, then more footballers became more and more tattooed. It just became more socially normal. People were seeing it more, so it just became more acceptable. Yeah. So it definitely allows someone like me.
Broke down the barriers.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
Okay. Well, they say, as he said himself, he said, once you get one, you want to get two. And then once you get two, you want to get three.
Yeah.
Yes, and it goes on and on.
And then you end up like you look like a school desk.
Okay. I still only have the one, a school desk. That's funny, actually.
Can I just ask, do we do him a disservice by saying that this whole brand thing, Conor, is all because of who he's married to?
Yeah, because I think he is the brand. I don't necessarily think it's anything to do with posh. I think I think it's him completely. Like his hair, like the trends that he set, and he broke down, as I said, the barriers for men's hairdressing because, like, you know, because now he was getting colours in. He was, you know, he just changed the whole face of men's hairdressing for us, especially.
I suppose we see them very much as Brand Beckham and a power couple now, but without that, you think he still would have been that fashion icon,
100%.
the trendsetter?
100%. And Real Madrid, sure, they purchased him as a brand and as a footballer.
And it worked for them.
Yeah, big time. 50% of all
It just goes to the power behind something
yeah,
like that.
absolutely.
Because it's not, I mean, we were talking earlier about football skills, but it's not all about football now because the endorsements, the deals, the fashion, the branding, everything is huge.
Huge, absolutely huge.
Do you feel the same, that it would have been... He would have been as big, do you think?
I don't think it would have been as big. I think, she definitely deserves some credit, but definitely not all of it. I think the same way he gave young men the freedom to express themselves, she gave him the freedom to express himself.
Yeah.
So when you're watching the documentary, you can see how important having her and his family around him is and how that impacts him in his life and on the pitch. So I think there's probably when he put on that sarong, he probably said to her, Victoria, what do you think of this? And she goes, well, if you like it, wear it. And then he goes, yeah, okay, fair enough. And then that's how it was. I think she just gave him that freedom and the allowance to be himself. And when you are unapologetically yourself and comfortable in your skin, that's what elevates you up. Yeah. And she allowed him to do that.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually, because, I mean, particularly with male-dominated sports as well, it is hard. Maybe you need that kind of strong kind of woman next to you to do that sort of thing.
Just let you know that it's okay.
Yeah.
Just be yourself and it's fine.
Yeah.
It certainly has worked for him all right. You've watched the documentary?
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you think of it? What did you take from it?
I thought it was brilliant. Like, obviously I grew up watching him, and I mean, he's one of the most famous human beings on the planet. Do you know what I mean? So you think you know of him or know parts of him. But I think this documentary really gives it much more of an insight into who he is. Like, I had no idea he had OCD to the level that he does. And you watch that series and you really get a sense of how much his family really means to him, and every decision that he's ever made is them are at the absolute forefront of it, and how obsessed he was with Victoria in the early days. Do you know what I mean? He was absolutely...
Travel for hours, didn't he? Just for 20 minutes of it.
Yeah, I think there's one of the clips he says he drove for 4 or 5 hours to spend 7 minutes with her.
That's the kind of fella you want in your life, let me tell you.
If it's not that, you don't want
a free kick specialist. Huh?
Like
free kick.
an amazing free kick specialist with a right foot that he was absolutely blessed with.
Yeah. But can I ask you though, do you think of all, like you've been in the business for donkey's years now at this stage, but
a while.
When I were a lad.
Yeah, you're probably one of the most established in the country, to be fair, barbers in the country, to be fair. But when you look at any sports person who has influenced your business, would he be right up there? Would he be at the top?
Big time. Like even Gladiators, Russell Crowe, you remember that whole Caesar haircut came in, Cillian Murphy, Peaky Blinders, all of these influences. And then it starts that trend rolling, which is fantastic. But they repeat, though. They always repeat. It always seems that, like, Bros had a skin fade years ago. I don't know if you remember Bros.
Yeah.
But they had a skin fade, pompadour. So that's what they had. And then it just repeats again.
Please tell me the mullet is going away sometime soon, though, because that's
upsetting me. No, it's still there because
obviously
with the rugby now, So
I'm blaming Shane Byrne for everything.
It's becoming popular again. There's no question about it.
I think you had one of them, Martin, didn't you? You had a mullet.
I had a mullet. I had a mullet. We all had
did
mullets.
not.
I did.
I need photographic evidence of that.
All photographs have been destroyed.
Oh, no, they haven't. I'm sure there's one. I'm getting on to your wife. I'm sure there's one somewhere.
Does Beckham still have the power to influence now?
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
Definitely.
Go back a few years ago, United brought out that zebra kit and all the fans hated it. One photo with Beckham sitting down on the ground wearing it, and it's sold.
Styles, So the power even with his hairstyles are still quite trendy now. People are coming in looking for that. Yeah,
God, anyway.
Boys, good to talk to you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Now, I'm still upset about the mullets. Anyway, we'll be learning some Irish cocktails we can make with equipment you'd have in your kitchen. That's coming up after this short break.